Hi everyone. Again, I'd like to encourage anyone who's watching who is a Jehovah's Witness or an ex-Jehovah's Witness not to get stuck on the word cross, but think beyond that to the event that's being described, and listen to some more of what J.C. Ryle says in his book, The New Birth, about the cross. He says, "Beware of a religion in which there is not much of the cross. Beware, I say again, of a religion without the cross." Set Jesus crucified fully before the eyes of your soul. I believe it is an excellent thing for us all to be continually dwelling on the cross of Christ. It is a good thing to be often reminded how Jesus was betrayed into the hands of wicked men, how they condemned him with most unjust judgment, how they spit on him, scourged him, beat him, and crowned him with thorns, how they led him forth as a lamb to the slaughter, without his murmuring or resisting, how they drove the nails through his hands and feet, and set him up on Calvary between two thieves, how they pierced his side with a spear, mocked him in his sufferings, and let him hang there naked and bleeding till he died. Of all these things I say it is good to be reminded. 'Tis not for nothing that the crucifixion is described 4 times over in the New Testament. There are very few things that all 4 writers of the Gospel describe. Generally speaking, if Matthew, Mark, and Luke tell a thing in our Lord's history, John does not tell it. But there is one thing that all the 4 give us most fully. That one thing is the story of the cross. This is a striking fact and not to be overlooked. People seem to forget that all Christ's sufferings on the cross were foreordained. They did not come on him by chance or accident. They were all planned, counseled, and determined from all eternity. The cross was foreseen in all the provisions of the Blessed Trinity for the salvation of sinners. In the purpose of God, the cross was set up from everlasting. Not one throb of pain did Jesus feel, not one precious drop of blood did Jesus shed, which had not been appointed long ago. Infinite wisdom planned that redemption should be by the cross. Infinite wisdom brought Jesus to the cross in due time. He was crucified by the determinate counsel and foreknowledge of God. All Christ's sufferings were endured voluntarily and of his own free will. His heart was set on the salvation of sinners. I see in it, and he's talking about the cross of Christ, not the cause of the Father's love, but the effect. So why should we focus on the cross or the event of Christ's suffering and death? Because the Gospels do. Because the New Testament writings all do focus on his suffering and death. It is the pivot point of all history, that event, the cross of Christ. It is the greatest love story in the world. Now, I know that oftentimes our hearts are very touched by stories of people who sacrifice much for their families or their communities, and where our hearts are tugged when a hero endangers his own life for the sake of someone else to rescue, even a stranger. we should be touched by mothers who endure painful deliveries in order to provide life to a child. All those things touch our hearts and we're moved by them. Well, look to the cross of Christ. That is the greatest love ever displayed. God chose that path from all eternity to redeem and save us. We should focus on the cross of Christ, on Jesus crucified. Hebrews 12:2-3 tells us, "Let us fix our eyes on Jesus, the author and perfecter of our faith, who for the joy set before him endured the cross, scorning its shame, and sat down at the right hand of the throne of God. Consider him who endured such opposition from sinful men, so that you will not grow weary and lose heart." I'm going to link to two videos. One is called "Is JW's Paradise Purgatory Biblical? Did Christ buy us a 1,000-year trial?" And the second video is "Do JWs distinguish between begotten and created, Son of Man and Son of God?"